So you want to explode your listing in 2024 on Airbnb. You want to do that? I can give you that. Your listing has been crickets, not getting traction. You're not getting as much bookings as you might have in 2020 when you were on Airbnb at the prime time. Now it's saturated. All these other people are coming in the industry, like our clients that are got all this juicy information that I'm about to give you right now for absolutely free, and they're killing you. They're wiping you off the map, right? You want to get front page on Airbnb and get all the bookings before everybody else does. You want to get booked 2 months in advance. That's why you're here watching this video. Let's get into it. Come here, follow me to this is where you can find the information that will change your life forever. Come on. It's a secret Airbnb room. All right, so a little backstory. The reason why I'm making this video is because yesterday we had a client that contacted us and said, hey, Dylan, my Airbnb listing is just not getting any traction. We've been listed for a month now, blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay. After I told her what to do and told her what to do, she just didn't really grasp it, a little older. So I was like, you know what, that's fine. Give me your login. I'm gonna go in and just do my thing, right? I didn't have very much time, but I did 4 things. And that's all I had time for. And then I was just gonna tell her what to do after that. But the 4 things that I'm gonna show you today got her 3 bookings, and this was less than 24 hours ago that I did that. And so she literally texted me first, oh, Dylan, I got a booking. Boom, Dylan, I got another booking. Whatever you did was working. Boom, Dylan, oh my gosh, I got another booking, okay? So this stuff works, all right? And we've done this multiple times, and I can duplicate it with any listing, okay? So before we get started, the first thing I want you to realize is that you can't save every listing. Some listings, the reason why they're not performing well is because you just simply didn't choose the right property in the right location, okay? Now, if you apply these factors, you may still get bookings, may still get traction, but you're gonna have to sacrifice price and you may not be as profitable. So the first thing you could do to avoid all of this is pick a good location. With that being said, you could still have a property in a prime location that still suffers on Airbnb because you don't know these 4 things, okay? And if you wanna make sure that you have a profitable Airbnb that's in a good location, watch my last video, okay? Before we get started on these 4 things, what I want all of you guys to do is imagine yourself in the guest's shoes, okay? So you're gonna open up Airbnb, switch to traveling, okay? On your phone or on the laptop, it doesn't matter, okay? Let's say our listing is in Austin, Texas. So we're gonna type in Austin, Texas. We're gonna do what's called a global search, all right? So we're gonna click flexible, and then we're gonna click for the next 6 months. Oh, Katrina just texted me. Okay, I will. I got 4 bookings yesterday back to back. My client just texted me. I got 4 bookings back to back while I'm screen recording. Anyways, bang, bang. So right now it's February, so we're gonna go all the way to July, okay? 6 months. This is global search. It's gonna show every Airbnb listing in your area, okay? And now we're gonna click, and we're gonna make sure it's selected on week, not weekend, and we're gonna press next, okay? Then we're gonna put how many guests our property says. So if your property is a 3-bedroom, you can allow 6 guests, just allow 6 guests, okay? Something like that. And we're gonna do a search. And so now we've got a bunch of Airbnbs that we get to scroll through right now. And, oh look, that's one of our clients' Airbnbs right here, front page. Anyways, now we've got a bunch of Airbnbs to look, another one of our clients' front page. Holy shit, you know? Anyways, oh, another one of our clients' property first. I'm not making this shit up. 3 of the fucking 4 properties on the front page is our clients' properties. I shit you not. All right, anyways. That's how you know what we're doing. This is why we're here, all right? Listen, all right, now, we're gonna imagine we're in the client's perspective. First thing, what the customer sees and what the customer is shopping for, take grasp of that, okay? The cover photo, right? The price, the descriptions, the titles, they get to scroll through these photos like this and see those things. So I want you to imagine you're in the guest's shoes while I go through these things, okay? Now that you're there and you see, imagine yourself going through that experience and what your guest is gonna see, what your guest is gonna do, that will give you a lot of things. Now there's 1,000 things I can go over today, but I've narrowed it down to 4, and that's what we're gonna talk about today, all right? So fuck this. Talk about 4 things, all right? The very first thing, price. Now this is the #1 factor of why an Airbnb won't and will not get booked. You know why? Because people book based off price, okay? For example, you're shopping for a mansion, right? Usually your price range is gonna be probably in the thousands, right? But let's say there's a mansion for $100 per night, right? Guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna get fully booked. Now, is it gonna be profitable? No. So price does matter. Price is a category within itself. But I just wanna make sure that's clear, is price is the biggest deal. So there is pricing strategies, which I will have to do a completely separate video on that. But that was one of the 4 things that I did for this client, okay? I went in their listing and I just looked at the price, okay? So what you could do is you could look at all your competitors' price and you could see what their pricing is and you can compare it to that. Now, the biggest factor most people don't do, and the reason why they suffer, is because they have static pricing or they use Airbnb's pricing, okay? So static pricing is if you have an average daily rate and it's the same average daily rate every single night, no matter what, no matter what. Justin Bieber comes into town, guess what? Your prices don't get raised. If it's a slow week, your prices don't get lowered, okay? So there's no difference, and that's what static pricing is. How you can fix this is dynamic pricing, okay? So Airbnb has a tool called smart pricing, but the problem with that is they don't do it correctly, okay? So you don't wanna make sure you enable that. What you wanna use is a $50 per month software called Price Labs, okay? Price Labs is it's gonna make you more money than it costs, no doubt. What's gonna do? Justin Bieber comes into town, you don't need to know, it automatically knows, it jacks your prices up, and you'll get the most amount of booking. And it does this 12 months in advance. So if South by Southwest is coming to Austin, right, then it's gonna jack the prices way up so that way people get booked at $1,000 per night when their average daily rate's only $200, right? And so that's what dynamic pricing does. And on the flip side of that, on the average days, let's say Monday through Wednesday, it's just a regular Monday through Wednesday and nobody's really coming to Austin, your prices will be lower, okay? And it evens itself out and you actually make even more money than you would if you just did static pricing. And that allows people to do it. So that's the biggest factor that people don't do that I see. And that's the number one thing that you can fix to make sure that you get booked. Outside of that, pricing strategies, okay? So without showing you, just to tell you really quickly, there's something called custom promotions, okay? So when you first list your listing, you're gonna be able to do a 20% off for your first 3 guests. This is to ensure that you get 3 bookings no matter what. Because you don't have any reviews, your listing's not super host, it's your first listing, right? You don't have any traction, right? Airbnb doesn't know that you're a legit listing, right? Nobody knows. Why would I book with this person? You know why? Price. They get 20% off, right? That's the biggest factor is price, okay? So I wanna get that out of the way. So use your discounts, use your promos to your advantage until you build up that rapport with Airbnb, and then you could start to jack up those prices and use dynamic pricing, okay? That's price. Now, the second most important thing is photos. Boom. What's the first thing you look at when you go on the Airbnb customer experience? When you went through the customer experience and you scrolled through the page, what's the first thing you saw? The pictures, right? This is what caught my eye. I saw my girlfriend, we were looking for a place in Miami. All she was doing, she wasn't looking at the title. All she was looking at was the price and the photos, nothing else. The cover photo needs to be good, okay? So just a little tip here. Cover photos. Do not use a bedroom shot as a cover photo. Do not use that. Do not use a kitchen shot. Do not use a dining room shot. Do not use a bathroom shot. Do not use your washer and dryer. Don't use those as cover photos. They do not convert as well as cover photos that are outside or the living room, okay? Those are cover photos that you really want to use. So that's called your hero photo or cover photo. It's the first picture people see when they're scrolling through the front page, okay? So if you think about a funnel of the guest experience, the first thing they do is they get all the Airbnbs on the page. You're competing with everybody else in terms of price, photos, titles, everything. You're competing with other people. So you want this guest's business, right? So when they're scrolling through, the first thing that they see and the biggest thing is your cover photo. So you need to make sure it looks good. So what converts as better than anything else is outdoor photos. So if you have a really nice picture of the outdoor of your house, or maybe you have a really cool backyard with ping pong tables, you know, really nice patio furniture, a pool, something like that will convert better than a living room shot. Now, let's say if you don't have that backyard, that's fine. Do a living room shot. On your living room shot, put some colorful pillows in the shot, some colorful things to make it pop a little bit more, okay? That's a little bit of advice for the living room, okay? And you wanna make sure that that living room is a wide angle shot and it's a good photo. A lot of people will take pictures on their phone and that is okay, but typically they're not good, okay? Another thing with your photos, this is a lot, I know. Not only the cover photo, but the other 4 photos behind that matter too. So when you click on an Airbnb listing and you click on it, after the cover photo converts, so they look at your price, they look at the photo, and they saw it and they said, oh my gosh, this listing looks amazing, I have to click on it. Boom, they click on it. You want them to stick to that property, right? So the first thing they see after that is 5 photos, okay? So if all 5 photos are living rooms and bathrooms and it's just boring, then guess what? They're gonna leave. And guess what? You didn't get that business. And now Airbnb knows that people are clicking on your profile and leaving right away. So guess what? You're not on the front page. You're now on the second page, okay? So you need to make sure your first 5 photos are what represents your Airbnb the most. So the front photo, let's say, is a picture of the pool in the backyard. Your second photo is a picture of the living room. Your third photo is a full picture of the kitchen, all the stuff that it has in the kitchen. Then a cool dining room shot. Then a cool like lounger chair. That's your 5 photos. So when people see that, or maybe you have a ping pong table in the garage, you put that right there too. So when people see that, they go, oh my gosh, this listing is amazing. I have to book this place. What's the price? You know, what's it gonna cost? What's the cleaning fee? What's this? Let's look at the description. Then they start diving into your listing, they heart it, then they're gonna come back, and when they decide to book after they've narrowed it down to 3 properties, they're gonna pick yours if it stands out, right? Another thing with your photos, don't make it real estate, okay? So a lot of pick properties, they do real estate photos. It's very bland, it's very sterile, right? But you don't wanna do that. You wanna make sure it's good, unique. You wanna make sure they're actionable, they're live. So whenever you do the kitchen shot, do some close-ups, do some pots and pans with like a cutting board and a knife. Make it look like people are staying there already and make it look like an actual Airbnb listing, okay? Also in real estate shots, they do like 10 pictures of the living room, 10 pictures of the bathroom, 10 pictures of the bedroom. Don't do that. 1 picture of each bedroom, maybe 2, 1 to 2 pictures of the living room, 1 to 2 pictures outside. You don't need 10 pictures of the pool. Yeah, it's cool, but you only need 1, all right? You want your guests, when they're looking at the photos, to guess, what is it gonna be like when I stay there? This is good enough. But if you give too much and you start giving too much to them, then they're gonna already know what it feels like to stay there and they're not gonna book with you, okay? So you wanna make sure that it's unique and it keeps them guessing, okay? The reason why we spend so much time on photos is because honestly, if price wasn't a factor, this would be the biggest factor. And honestly, to me, it's probably the biggest factor right next to price. But the reason why price is a little bit more is because people have budgets. The third thing is your amenities, all right? So a lot of Airbnb listings suffer because they either have the amenities and they don't add it, or they don't have it and they just don't add it. So after you click on a listing, you scroll down, you can see how many amenities they have. So you can see this listing only has 22, okay? You should have at least 60, okay? At least, all right? And so this person obviously didn't put down that they have as many amenities as they actually do. So when you're doing your listing, there's a whole amenities category. Go through and check as many of those as you possibly can. If you're going through those and you see something you don't have but you can buy it. People don't have hair dryers. People don't have any of those things, okay? And you can get that number all the way up to 70. Let me go to one of my clients' properties and show you how many amenities they have, okay? Scroll down, right? 71 amenities, nuts. And so they have a hair dryer, they have cleaning products, they have shampoo, conditioner, body soap, hot water, gel, they have free washer dryer. Even though you may have these things, but you're not actually adding them in your amenities, and that's like literally, you're suffering your listing. Let me give you an example. You can actually go to the filters here and you can filter out by amenities. So see how it says 1,000 places down here? You can literally scroll through and you can just filter out Wi-Fi. You can filter out free parking. You can filter out kitchen, washer, dryer, and those are basic ones. So a lot of people are gonna have these things, dedicated workspace, TV, hair dryer, iron. But watch, EV charger in Austin, Texas, where Tesla is Tesla is based out of Austin, Texas. So there's a lot of Teslas there. An EV charger you can buy on Amazon for like 200 bucks, right? Not even, 150 bucks, 130 bucks, right? And you can put it in your garage and you can have this amenity. Watch how many places this drops. There's 1,000 plus places right now. When I click EV charger, it's gonna drop to 214 places out of over 1,000. I'm willing to bet there's like 3,000 listings and only 200 people in Austin have EV chargers. So if your listing is an EV charger, your competition just went from like 5K to 200 if you have an EV charger for 130 bucks. Now, watch this is even crazier. Breakfast, okay? This is a hidden gem right here. This amenity breakfast, only 4 people have it in Austin with all these other amenities as well. Breakfast, you may think, what do you mean breakfast, right? I can't provide breakfast. All you need to do to get this amenity is order Pop-Tarts and pancake mix to your property. And literally now you have breakfast. You're serving breakfast to your guests, all right? That's literally a life hack right there. And so think outside the box of how you can get these amenities in, all right? Make sure you have instant book on. Make sure you can self-check in your guest, right? All these different things as much as you possibly can without sacrificing the safety and the value of your Airbnb. Obviously, if you don't want to allow pets, don't allow pets, okay? Obviously, if you don't want to allow smoking, don't allow smoking. I would suggest you don't allow smoking because most people don't. But the point here is to try to get as many amenities as possible. Try to get those king beds. Try to get those hair dryers. I mean, this shit is cheap, dude. Like, you can literally get 70 plus amenities easily with a regular schmegular Airbnb in Austin, Texas, all right? And you can literally dominate your competition just by that, all right? Now we got amenities out of the way. The fourth and final thing is your title and description, all right? So your title should be treated like a subtitle, not a title. So everybody in the whole entire world does cozy 2-bedroom home in Austin, Texas, right? Quiet 3-bedroom apartment in San Francisco, close to downtown, right? No. You don't need to do that. The reason why is if you look on Airbnb, it already says the type of home it is. So it'll say if it's an apartment, it'll say if it's a home, it'll say it's a bungalow, say it's a condo. So you putting it in the title is literally like you're saying things twice, right? Airbnb already says whether it's a 2-bedroom, whether it's a 3-bedroom. It already says whether it's a home or an apartment. It already says if it's in San Francisco or in Austin. So there's no point in putting cozy home, 2-bedroom home in Austin, Texas. It already says 3 of the things that you put in there already, okay? So don't put 3-bedroom, don't put home or apartment, and don't put the city name. Those are all irrelevant. And finally, don't put a cozy or quiet or don't do any of that either. So you're probably wondering, what do we do for the title? You treat it like a subtitle. So if you look on Airbnb, it shows the pictures, it shows whether it's a home, a 3-bed, and it shows the price kind of bold. And then underneath that, it's kind of gray and a little bit smaller. It says the title, okay? And so you want to use that title like a subtitle. So what you want to use, or what you want to say is your amenities, okay? The amenities that you have that your competition doesn't. And that filter hack that I just went over, that's how you can see what people do and do not have amenity-wise in your city. And so let's say you click on EV chargers. And like you saw, nobody had EV chargers. You can put in your title that you have an EV charger, okay? So for example, if you have a ping pong table, a hot tub, a pool, and a ping pong table, and bags, and a cool game room, what you would do is ping pong table, comma, pool, comma, hot tub, comma, EV charger, comma, close to DT, comma, whatever, right? So you list out your amenities, okay? If, let's say there's free parking is not very available in your city, right? Like Boston or Chicago doesn't have very much free parking. You would put free parking in your title, okay? So that's your title. Hope you understand that, right? Most people do not do that. So you will automatically dominate your competition by doing that, okay? And if you think about it in your guest position and put in the guest shoes, it makes sense why you would do that, right? If you had a top house penthouse suite, you would put top floor penthouse or suite, top floor suite, comma, hot tub, comma, pool, comma, free parking. Boom, you'd get fucking way more bookings doing that than cozy 2-bedroom home in downtown Austin. Nobody gives a fuck, all right? Nobody gives a fuck if it's cozy. Nobody gives a fuck if it's quiet, all right? You need to make sure you put the amenities down, all right? So, description, okay? For your description, you want to make sure you fill out as many descriptions as possible, okay? So you have 2 different descriptions. You have the description, which you have 500 characters, and then you have the space, which you have unlimited characters, okay? Pretty much. So for the description, you want to make sure that you write it in second person, right? So making sure you're making them envision themselves living there, okay? So you want to say a lot of yous, a lot of, hey, you will be doing, you will be doing, you will be doing, your will be doing, your, right? Things like that, right? And so what I do to have you help write this is ChatGPT. I use it for every listing. And so what you want to do is just prompt ChatGPT to write it with a lot of yous in second person. And you want to just keep defining it and make sure it's under 500 characters and then paste it into your Airbnb description. And you want to make it really, really good. Okay? Now that's that. Now underneath that, you're going to have the space section, which is pretty much unlimited. In the space section, you want to have basically a list of items, right? You want to list it down. It's a type of close, right? Where you just list as many positive things about your Airbnb and it persuades the viewer, the guest, into buying your place, because you're just adding what they've already experienced, and you're just keep adding onto it. You're just drilling it in their mouth, right? And so first you want to say, not only will you have an amazing time tying it from your description, but you will also get all of these items for free with your stay, capital, all caps free. Then ... Then you want to put a check mark, and you want to have every little thing. So you'd put check mark, free ping pong games, check mark, free air conditioning, just joking, right? Check mark. Breakfast on us, check mark. Heated pool, check mark. Free parking, check mark. And you just literally list as many things as possible about your Airbnb that you can think positively that will affect your guests as viewers. Now, I would estimate that 70% of the people that book your place will not book by reading those. But that 30% that read that will strongly see that, and it'll more likely book them because of those things. Now, how you use your verbiage, you need to understand who's booking with your place. So for example, if you're in like a Miami, right? Miami, a lot of young people are coming to Miami and staying there. So you would use more young verbiage with exclamation point, maybe make an Instagram and say like, hey, follow us on Instagram for 10%, XYZ, whatever, right? Now, after you do your list of things, right? At the very end, you're gonna do what's called a CTA, or a call to action, right? It's calling the viewer to action on something, right? Which their action is book, right? But instead of asking them to book, you're gonna ask them to send you a message, okay? So it's a small ask for a big conversion, because if they ask you a question, you could persuade them to book in the Airbnb, and it gives your Airbnb positive rapport, which gets you on the front page. So what you do is at the end, you say, hey, ask me about my favorite restaurants, even if you're not gonna book, right? And then that way they're like, oh my God, I wanna know their favorite restaurants. So they'll go and they'll ask you about their favorite restaurants. And when they're looking at all the listings, they're more likely to book with somebody that has already talked to them and answered, especially if you answer right away, all right? So if you do those 4 things in 2024, you're bound to crush your competition. Now that I'm putting this out there, it's probably gonna be, more people are gonna catch on, but I promise on everything, if you just do these 4 things, you'll absolutely dominate everybody in your area. Listen, I hope this helped. Actually, I know this is gonna help. Apply this stuff, I promise it'll change your life forever. You'll triple your booking, triple your income, and you'll be able to retire your fucking mom one day, all right? Listen, if you guys wanna work with our company, D's Keys, DZKZ, what we do is we find profitable properties for people. We list the property. We do all this stuff I'm teaching you, and you don't pay us until the lease is signed, all right? So all you have to do is the first link in the description. All you gotta do is just fill out a form, and one of our people is gonna reach out to you, and we'll get on a call, and we'll see if we can work together, all right? Hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.